Great Girlfriends, get ready for the 2018 Doers and Disruptors Conference in New York City. This year's conference is dedicated to igniting great girlfriends, putting your ideas into motion, and moving the needle to get the results that you desire out of life. Join us June 21st and 22nd in New York City for a 2-day event with brilliant doers and disruptors across various industries who started with an idea and blossomed to become change agents, global influencers, and enterprise leaders. At the conference, you'll gather for workshops, panels, connect groups, dance breaks, light bites, and more while getting tips and resources to fulfill your passion in your personal life, your career, your business, motherhood, relationships, and more. Don't miss this opportunity to join forces with women who are on the same mission as you and experience the excitement and impact that only Brandis and I can bring to life. Get your tickets now at thegreatgirlfriendsconference.com. We'll see you there. VK Press is a book publishing company that helps aspiring authors tell the untapped stories inside of them. Offering writers creative freedom, VK Press specializes in collaborations with freelance artists to design one-of-a-kind book art. Inspired by the Great Girlfriends Conference of 2017, VK Press launched freelancer fashion apparel with messaging in support of artists and entrepreneurs alike. Save 20% off your entire purchase of apparel and books, including the newly released Bursting at the Seams, a collection of poetry by Chantel Massey, with promo code TGG2018. Shop today at www.vkpresses.com. Welcome to the Great Girlfriends podcast, where we discuss life, love, laughter, and everything in between. We're your hosts. I'm Sybil Amuti.
And I'm Brandis Daniel.
And before we jump into this week's episode of the podcast, make sure you sign up for our newsletter at
thegreatgirlfriends.com.
And don't forget to leave us an amazing iTunes review.
Yes, that is the payment for listening to this podcast.
I love it. 5 stars all the way. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Hey, great girlfriends.
Hey, great girlfriends.
How's everyone doing out there?
Well, Sybil, I'm so happy you asked. I'm doing really well.
That's how we start now?
I'm hungry. Sybil got me in the studio, her personal studio right now. Stomach growling, Kwaku's stomach growling. She the only one that's not hungry.
I'm one of those people, I don't eat until I finish working.
That's how Rich is.
Like, I don't eat, I could go all day and not eat.
That is Richard Daniel all day long.
And then I get hangry. And I look around and I'm like, rawr.
If we got something to do, he's like annoyed that I want to eat.
Yeah, I'm like, eat? How you going to eat? We got stuff
Right. He's like, what do you mean eat? Like, why, how could you be thinking about food?
But wait, why do I do that to my kids? They 6 and I be like, as soon as we finish, they be looking at me like, we are children.
Right. Give me food.
They eat like newborns, though. Did you know that? Just so you know, they never stop eating every 2 hours. I'm like, no, I'm like, you're okay. They're looking like, but mommy, we're really hungry. I'm like, I'm sorry. Okay.
Get them kids
some crackers.
Right. Get them kids some food.
I know my poor babies. I got to do better. I just realized it.
Girl, when you're
starting to get generous, you need a snack.
No, it's all good.
I'll get you a snack.
It's all good.
But, the reason why we can't eat right now is because, let me tell you something. I just feel like we got tested.
Oh,
I just feel like
goodness.
Sometimes tests come your way. And you know what they are? They're not tests. They're pop quizzes.
Mm-hmm.
We had a pop quiz. Because guess what, great girlfriends? Any podcaster that's listening will understand the pain that we felt when we realized that 20 minutes of a 30-minute episode had static in it and that we had to re-record. Come on, somebody.
Come on, somebody.
That's a pop quiz.
That was a total pop quiz.
And what do? You have to stay focused and get back in the game.
Yep. Because the thing is, things are going to that's a great life lesson. That might be a podcast lesson. Because, things are going to happen. And then sometimes, like, what if we had wasted another hour talking about how ticked off we were at the podcast episode? Or spent another hour trying to figure out what happened.
Right. Or try to fix it. Knowing good and well we could have just come back with the same hot fire all over again.
Sometimes you just have to jump right back in.
Yeah.
You can't spend the time mourning and grieving it too long. You just got to hop back in. or analyzing it.
Oh man, that analysis will get you. It'll have you stuck. And you know, if you've ever gone to university, college of any sort, even high school, I don't know what it is, and you've written a paper and it didn't save, come on. Do you remember that pain back in the 90s when you had a floppy?
I remember.
God bless Google, because Google saves for you when you don't have a good sense to save for yourself.
That's why I'm all over Google Docs.
Google's like, that's okay. I got you.
Right.
I got you.
Right.
So that happened. But anyway, it was a really great episode. The last episode, we're talking about getting good at giving, and a call to action was placed in there. 2 call to actions.
Yes.
1, get your butts to Doers and Disruptors June 21st through 22nd in New York City. Come and hang out with me and Brandis.
We're so excited to see you. And for all the great girlfriends who have snagged your early bird ticket,
shout out to you.
Shout out to you. Because there are so many of you who already got your ticket. You're already coming. You've already emailed us. So we cannot wait to see you. We've got so many special things planned for you. And Sybil and I like to be spoiled. And so because we do, we like to give that to our great girlfriends.
Yeah, absolutely. So be prepared for a treat. And it's kind of funny when we're at the conference because, you know, I think we forget that we're in people's ears
all the time.
A lot of times.
And they're like, oh, wait, you actually sound just like you look. Yeah. You sound just like you're doing the podcast. I'm like,
oh, it's you. You're like, yeah, it's me. It's not a radio voice. It's a real live voice. But it's funny when that moment happens. Right. You see people looking at you strange like,
right.
Oh, that's you.
Right.
So those moments happen a lot at the conference. And sometimes people just kind of frozen looking like, oh.
It's just weird to see a face with it.
Yeah.
See the voice coming out of your head.
You know why, though? Because podcasts, I don't know if anybody else like me. I've been in the shower listening to a podcast.
Yes.
I'll be in the bathroom.
Yes.
Wherever. And so when you get that
all
intimate,
in your personal space. We at the gym with you.
Yes.
We're in your ear while you're at the gym.
That's why it's probably strange.
We're in the car with you with your baby while you're taking your baby to school, because this is a baby-free, kid-free
it's a
podcast. Kid-friendly podcast. And so we're all up in your head. We're all in the bathroom with you while you're doing your personal business. Like, we here.
So that's probably why it's kind of strange. Because it's like we're actually in person, all dressed. Everybody looking fancy. Right. But it's fun. And our speakers are so excited. Everyone is so overwhelmed and excited about coming to the conference and being there and being a part of it. And I just think this is going to be off the chain.
It's going to be amazing.
So, and shout out to our sponsors. The W's hosting us on Thursday night.
Yes, W Hotel.
Yes, and we have Tara Chips who came through, and Kula came through, and Miss Jessie's came through.
Yes.
And if you're still interested in adding your name to our sponsor rotation, email us at thegreatgirlfriends@gmail.com.
Absolutely.
There's room for more. So that's it. Oh, and my second call to action was to go to GoFundMe.com/ShareALOVEY. It's all one word, and help me in reaching my goal of supporting my mother's GoFundMe. Actually, it's her. We posted this for my mom, but because my mama don't know how to use GoFundMe. God bless her. But we posted it for my mom. My mom is doing a GoFundMe to raise money to create Lovey pillows that she dedicates to people who are going through chemotherapy, as she did in 2016 and 17. She was faced with stage 3 cancer. She has been 1 year cancer free. Thank you, Lord. And so I'm asking all of you in the Great Girlfriends community to help me in raising funds to help my mom so she can continue to create these pillows that are so instrumental in providing love and support to people in need.
And so many of you have already donated $40.
Thank you. And more.
And more.
Yes, so we're doing $40 for my 40 of minimum. That's our minimum. And our goal as a community is to have a minimum of $2,000 that represents the Great Girlfriends. So I'm asking for each one of you to just give big, give big when it seems impossible. We talked about the things about giving that are so essential in our last episode, but give like you would want to receive if you were going through what so many of our family members have faced, or maybe you faced in the past with cancer treatment.
Absolutely.
Yes. This week. Let's get in. So many of you are coming to the conference, and a lot of you are saying, I'm nervous.
Who am I going to meet?
I know.
I don't have many friends to come with. We got you.
What's it gonna be like? Or how do I connect? Or one of the things about our conference that's so amazing is that our speakers are tangible and touchable. You can walk up to some of our speakers and say, "Hey, I have a question." They make themselves available to you at every level, and so what's so exciting is that you'll have an opportunity to get on ground with people that you've been maybe listening to on our podcast, or maybe you've seen in other mediums or other events. And so whether or not you're coming to our conference or you're going to another experience, you need to know how to get in the room and work the room and be yourself doing it, and not feel like you have to put on a certain persona to show up in rooms that you get invited into. And when you get a chance to come to these events, just ways that you can build relationships that'll last forever.
Absolutely. Because I love, one of the things that I love so much is seeing the friendships that come from the conference.
Man, so good.
Oh, I love it so much.
So special.
I love it so much.
Are you ever like, why didn't we get invited to be in the friend circle?
That's you and your FOMO.
I'm like, wait, they all hanging out? They don't think we want to hang?
But Great Girlfriends do make dates.
They make
after
dates.
The conference. And this year our conference is actually on a Thursday night and Friday all day long. So you'll actually be able to connect with people on Saturday, go shopping, walk the Brooklyn Bridge, do whatever, go brunching.
Yes.
If you're in New York and you don't go for a good brunch on Saturday.
That's Brandis' thing, y'all. That's her essential.
That is not Brandis. That is the New York way.
That's the New York way. You are brunching somewhere.
You are brunching on a good Saturday.
You are.
And you're brunching until like 3 p.m.
And you look so cute doing it. You're just out somewhere. You never sit inside. You're outside enjoying the view, just having fun. So
yeah, it's going to be a good time.
We don't want you to come to our event or go to any other conference. I mean, we as women, we have events going on year round around the world. There's all these she, we, her, it moments that are happening. And we don't want you wasting your money and saying, I went to the conference and I got the tote bag, but I don't feel like I've connected with anyone. So we want you to be able to meet, greet, and build relationships with other amazing women who deserve to know you.
And sometimes, Tib, it's like people are really uncomfortable and fearful. Yeah. And it's not because you don't want to be. Like, some people are really introverts. Yeah. And so it's hard. And so this can all be a little bit uncomfortable, but I promise it's worth being uncomfortable because the rewards are so great.
Well, you got to think about that, too. Like, most speakers will say, I can say, you can say, it's uncomfortable sometimes to be in front of a room and to have to present your thoughts and hope that people will receive them and enjoy them. So everyone a lot of people in the room will be outside of their comfort zone.
Absolutely.
And then you don't have to be like the next person. Some people are super energetic and naturally spirited and friendly and warm. You don't have to be that person to make your connections. And maybe your connection's one.
Right.
Maybe it's not the whole room.
It could be 1 or 2 people you walk away with. Yeah.
But just knowing that people deserve to know you. Even as an introvert, I have, in my Brave group, I have 5 women who all said that they were introverts. And I'm like, that is interesting. Introverts don't typically get drawn to me because I'm not known to be introverted. But what I've learned is that, introverts still deserve to know that people deserve to know them. You
Absolutely.
have to know that you're not disqualified because you're introverted. It means that you don't get a great experience when you go places, and that you don't get rewarded with great friendships. Sometimes people may feel like, I'm not as much as Brandis, so I may not get the most out of the room. Your portion of the room is different from Brandis's, it's different from Sybil's, it's different. You just got to be willing to put yourself out there.
And this goes back to our episode with Minda.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because you guys can also apply this to your workplace. You can apply this to the gym. You can apply this to, literally any room that you walk into.
Yeah.
Well, let's take a commercial break and jump right back in.
Great Girlfriends, do you have your ticket to the 2018 Doers and Disruptors Conference? If not, what are you waiting for? Join us in New York for a 2-day event filled with brilliant doers and disruptors across various industries who started with an idea and blossomed to become great change agents. We can't wait to join with you for workshops, panels, connect groups, dance breaks, light bites, and more, while giving you tips and resources to fulfill your passion in your personal lives, careers, businesses, motherhood, and relationships. Log on to thegreatgirlfriendsconference.com and get a ticket for yourself and your greatest girlfriends. We'll see you there.
All right, pen and paper.
Pen and paper. And hopefully you've got your great girlfriend's journal.
Man, what? You better. You better.
All right. So here goes some tips on how to meet, greet, and build relationships with other amazing women. Number one, it's so deep. It's so
Go deep.
Number
Let's
one is about to be really deep. Be friendly.
What?
Y'all, Symbol's corniness is rubbing off on me, okay?
She calls me corny. I love it. No, being friendly.
That's number one. Simple. It's simple. Just be friendly to other people. And don't, the last episode we talked about giving without expecting anything in return. And this also applies to being friendly. Mm-hmm. Just be friendly. Don't worry about how the other person responds back to you.
Yeah.
Just give. If you want friends, show yourself friendly.
What does that look like? Do it to me.
Hi, how are you?
That was so friendly.
That's it.
Look at you.
She
made strong eye contact. She gave me a great smile.
That's it.
She sounded enthusiastic.
Absolutely. That's it.
Yes, I love that. Number 2, be authentic. Be authentic.
Yes.
It's not about being Sybil. It's not about being Brandis. It's about being your unique self and bringing that to the table and saying, this is who I am. It's about you representing yourself to the fullest.
Absolutely.
So whatever your style is, bringing that to the table to the fullest. Whatever your personality, the fullest part of it. Being authentic and not trying to present what you think people want to see in you. Present who you are.
Yes, because you are plenty enough.
I'll give an example. I know a really great woman. She is so fantastic, but she is not a smiler. And I remember thinking to myself, she was mean because she wasn't a smiler. Then I got to know her and I was like, oh, she's just not a smiler.
Right.
She is a great woman. And when you know her and you connect with her, she gives you a straight face, a stern handshake. And I mean, it's barely a grin. She's happy on the inside.
Right.
But she's not a smiler. And is she trying to be a smiler? No, she is well into her 60s now. She is good with being who she is. She has understood that this is her persona. This is her authenticity. And there it is.
There it is. Love it. Number 3, don't try to blend in and conform to other women. Locate relationships where there is a natural fit. That is the word for my life. It is. That is the word over my life.
That's true. Natural fit.
Natural fit. I can be friendly with everybody, but it's not always a natural fit. And I just go to where my natural fit is.
Yeah.
And it has always worked out really well. And it doesn't mean that I'm not friendly to every single person, but it's not a natural fit with every single person.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's not. It's not.
And be completely okay with that. Mm-hmm. Completely okay with it.
That's good stuff. Number 4, go out, be social, and don't set high expectations. Let things happen organically.
Yeah.
When you do it, when you go out and you're being social and you're being, warm or kind towards people, just do it for the love of doing it. Because you're telling yourself, if you're stepping outside of your comfort zone, you're stepping outside and you're trying something new and you want to get good at it, so you're practicing. If you're in your zone, it's because you're in your zone. You just get in the room and you just enjoy working the room. And so you're just going to have fun and do it just for the sake of doing it and knowing that it's part of who you are, or you're cultivating something. But setting expectations that the room's going to give it back to you is not always fair to other people.
Absolutely.
It's not fair, and it's too much pressure on everyone else. So just let things happen organically.
Yeah, don't force it at all.
Yeah.
And then it becomes a great experience for you.
Yeah. And sometimes you think it's going to return to you immediately, and you get, you feel a certain way when it doesn't come back to you immediately. Sometimes there's a long-term effect to networking or connecting with people that happens where you may not make that immediate connection, but something about you resonates, and someone will email you a month later, 3-6 months later,
a year later,
and say, you know what, I met you at X, Y, and Z, and I remember this about you at X, Y, and Z. That's happened to me, and I've done it to other people.
Absolutely.
So, you do get in people's minds, and you will be put in remembrance at a certain time and point. It's not always in that moment.
Yeah, I love that. That's so true. So number 5, when you see women who have a look and feel that you admire, compliment them.
Yeah, we talked about that.
Complimenting someone is like the freest and most amazing gift you can give someone.
Yeah.
It's totally free.
Yeah.
But it makes people feel so good.
It absolutely does.
And sometimes we're uncomfortable like complimenting other people, but if you start doing it, you get a lot more comfortable with it. And it usually sparks a conversation.
Yeah. And it disarms people too.
It disarms people.
People typically cannot be mean to you or rude to you or dismiss you when you've given them a compliment. Typically that opens them up a bit to be like,
Absolutely.
And isn't it great that to let people know that you notice them? Everyone wants to feel noticed. So when you're able to offer that to someone else, I think it's valuable.
Absolutely.
Last but not least, number 6, don't be afraid to ask someone if they want to get together for coffee or tea. The worst they can say is no.
That's the worst they can say.
That's the worst they can say. And listen, sometimes that no is the best they can give you. Sometimes you don't want the coffee and tea that you think you want.
Right.
Sometimes that no is a reward that you can't see, but that God has given you. No, that is not your coffee or tea person.
Right.
That's not the one. I got somebody else for you. So
absolutely.
Don't get caught up in the idea that one person is your answer.
And it's not, and all of these things it's not even for introverts. I'm not an introvert, but these things can be very uncomfortable for me depending on the room that I'm in. And one thing that I do is I try to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. And so I was in a room recently where I said, you know what? I'm going to, actually, there's another recent example that I have, but there was a room that I was in and I said, I'm going to meet 3 new people in here. Most of the people in that room didn't look like me. I don't know if we had a whole lot in common, but I was like, let me just introduce myself to 3 people. We did all have one common experience. So that was the one thing that we did have in common. But I just said, let me just introduce myself to 3 people. And I literally said that as I introduced myself to them. So, hi, I'm Brandis. How are you? I just wanted to make sure I introducing myself to at least 3 people I didn't know before I came.
Oh, that's good.
And I think that's actually a perfect way to introduce yourself when you're in rooms where you don't know people, you don't know what to say, you feel very weird going up to people. Just say, I told myself that I was not going to leave this room without introducing myself to 2 new people.
Yeah. That's good stuff. It's totally, and people are glad to be one of your 3.
Right.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, hi, how are you?
Yeah. And imagine how special that might feel in a room. Say there's 50 people and I chose 3 and I chose, you're one of my 3.
Yeah.
Like that makes me feel pretty special and significant that you take the time, to come to make me part of your 3 people.
Absolutely.
That's really good. And even sometimes when you think about it, asking a person for a follow-up is just saying, can I get to know you a little better? And sometimes, we like to be chased. As women particularly, we love a good chase, But sometimes we have to be the ones to express interest first.
Absolutely.
And know that any form of rejection is not necessarily a bad thing. Sometimes it's good for us, but also it's helping us to refine more and more and more who we're going to chase.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of times we go to these events and sometimes people will see the headliner and they'll say, oh my goodness, so-and-so speaking at that event. So I want to go because I want to try to meet so-and-so. And you might not get to meet the headliner, but you might just, in your connection of meeting 3 people, you might meet the headliner's best friend.
Yeah.
You might,
absolutely.
Or you might just meet other people who have more in common with you or more interest in where you're going than the headliner. So, just set your ambitions to just going out and just being in the presence of amazing women.
Absolutely.
I think that's the highest expectation we can set. And then let the gift of the room come back to you.
1,000%.
2,000.
2,000%.
3,000.
3,000.
Can I get 4,000?
4,000. No, I love it. I was just thinking, I can't remember. I think I may have shared this on a podcast, but one thing that I used to be really uncomfortable about was when I went to like big conferences and people are in a group talking and I want to be in the group talking too. That's
No, but that's
and I would be like, okay, how do I insert myself into this conversation? Or maybe it's like with one of the speakers or whatever, and everyone's kind of talking, and I'm kind of like, I used to like stand around kind of like a semi-stalker, like, okay, like, do I come into the group? Am I gonna look weird? Like, what do I do? And I actually took an improv class for public speaking. And in the improv class, I told them that was something I was uncomfortable doing. And so we literally practiced that scenario for me.
It's so good.
And I remember, and one of the things that she told me to do is just basically just walk into the circle. And just kind of listen until there's an opportunity for me to introduce myself.
Yeah.
But that took practice for me. That was not easy or natural. It was literally something that I paid to learn how to do.
That's so good. Yeah. I definitely had a point in time where I struggled with that. And that was when I first moved to New York from the South. And I had a few professors tell me that I was, your accent is so strong. And it made me feel insecure about introducing myself to people in New York. And so I would just kind of retreat or stand back and just wait it out. But I got to a point where I was like, that's not who I am. And so I just started, I would go up to a circle or I'd see a circle that looked inviting. And I would say, do you mind if I join you?
Right.
Or, I came along. Is it possible, do you mind if I join the conversation? Right. Am I interrupting?
No.
Yeah. Am I interrupting? Is it okay if I join you ladies? I'm Sybil. I'm from Memphis, whatever be the case. And typically, and if that circle seemed cold, I can ease out at any given point and hit another circle.
You can ease out at any given point. You
don't have to stay.
You do not have to stay. It's not a marriage.
Yeah, you don't have to stay.
We talked about that in Minda Hart's thing too. You can literally, we talked about dating. What was that? Dating accountability partners.
Yeah.
What was that? And the same thing, you can date groups.
Yep.
At events.
Absolutely.
If it's not a good fit, you just ease.
Grab your little appetizer.
And ease right on out and find you a new group. Keep it moving.
That's the joy of it. But like you said, what was so good is it was something that you wanted to cultivate. You went ahead and took a class.
I did.
You took a class and you said, let me just figure this out. And even still, sometimes when, we're in a space now where we're elevating in certain circles and we're circulating in different circles, or whatever be the case, and you enter different circles differently. And it's important to kind of, know the room that you're in. You're in an amazing room, and you're in a tech room. Maybe you're at a tech summit, and you're not a tech girl. Maybe you're intersecting industries. Well, that's a great opportunity for you to talk or introduce the idea of how your industry intersects with another. Like, just have some things that are conversational in mind for you. I typically start with people, where are you from?
Right.
Where are you from? And how'd you hear about this event? Or, what brought you here?
And I the more you are you, the better.
Yeah.
Because it's just, I was in a room over the weekend and I'm like pushing Memphis as if Memphis is paying me to push them, and they all know it at this point. Yes, Brandis, we know you're from Memphis, right?
Yes.
But it's become like a thing, whereas before I remember somebody telling me to change your number. You have this 901 number and you're in New York and da-da-da. And I was like, I don't want to change my phone number, and now it's like, that's my conversation piece.
Yeah.
Where's just
901?
Yeah. So, I'm just like, if you're country, be country and just do it.
Yeah. Then look, have you ever gotten in a circle with a person and you like, this is a talker.
Right.
You ever gotten one? And listen, no offense to the talkers out there, love you, but quite frankly, I tell you what, you're not gonna take my whole life at no event, cornering me over some, man.
That's when you have to learn how to politely ease out.
You gotta ease out. Because sometimes you will get in there and you be like, oh my gosh, I ran into the talker. I gotta go. Or the person with the hot breath. And they just love to talk. And they just right here with it. Bam. It's just taking you out with their breath.
You're so crazy.
You just got to ease out. You got to ease out.
You are so crazy.
Sometimes you're just not compatible with the one that you intersect with. And you're like, my bad.
You can just ease for a minute. Just ease out. It's quite easy.
It was great to meet you. I'm going to go meet some other people.
Yes. Absolutely. I know I'll see you later.
Yeah. I don't want to hold you.
Yeah.
I don't want to hold, because you about to hold me. And I don't want to hold you. So let me ease out. And talkers, if you're listening, just keep it to a minimum. You know, listen more at these events. It's better to do that than to just ramble.
Right, absolutely. So I think this has turned into 6 tips on how to approach the Great Girlfriends Conference.
Yes.
But here's the cool thing, though, for those of you who we will see June 21st and 22nd, is that Sybil and I have made it a habit to make sure that nobody is standing by themselves. Mm-hmm. Nobody is feeling alone. Nobody is off in a corner by themselves. If we have to come over there ourselves and make sure that you're good and go and introduce you to another group, that's what we do.
Yes.
So you don't have to worry about that at all.
At all.
So the GreatGirlfriendsConference.com is where you guys can go and get your tickets. You missed the early bird special, but don't worry about that. Come on anyway and bring your friends with you. Please. But if they don't come, you still come.
Come with these tips in hand.
Absolutely.
And you'll be ready to show out.
Love it.
Good time.
Love it.
All right. Peace.
We could not end this podcast without thanking our amazing husbands.
Yes, thank you, Kwaku.
And thank you so much, Rich Daniel.
And our beautiful children, thank you, Sam and Dylan.
And thank you, Miss Sky Daniel.
And thank you to all of you great girlfriends for trusting us as your go-to source for everything life, love, and laughter.
You can check us out on our social, on Instagram,
The Great Girlfriends,
on Twitter,
_Great GFS,
and on Facebook,
The Great Girlfriends.
And please make sure that you join our Facebook group, which is over 16,000 women strong.
Absolutely. And make sure you listen every single Wednesday on iTunes, Spotify, Podcast Bean, Podcast Republic, Google Play, and every other podcasting service.
Absolutely.
Be sure to post your questions, share with your friends, keep listening, and keep being a great girlfriend. I'm Sybil.
And I'm Brandon.
And we're signing off.
Peace.
Peace.